no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong, we're marching forward where we belong.
We stand like valiant soldiers to lay our lives to ensure that their blood won't spill in vain.
Amazonia will shine.
The mothers who scream for their daughters, the fathers who are on the shore while the kids are detained, wouldn't mourn in vain.
Will be sent, shake, shake no day until the very end. The cruise boys sing.
I told you before. When the time comes, they will come to us.
Where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter like ashes for night where they cold. Hope break scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people hand innocent they suffer. Oh mama Ambazonia, your heart they pay. Tears they fall like a river, like sister.
I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so don't forget.
Dr. Cho, Sissiko and others, them train them but them no fit bow. Them voice now like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the tongue face go.
Because I know they are trying to take me down.
They suffer.
But even if I'm not around, don't forget.
Tears they fall like a river, like this sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out windows, they hold space where they empty, them pride where they echo. Or they talk where they all know. Inside the shadows,
You don't owe them child
small
support.
fire they grow. Freedom they grow.
Don't forget the crimes they committed against us.
For every
We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle.
Ambazonia go stand gidika, you no go fear night. Oh mama Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like the river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out widows, they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. But it's all good they all know. Mama Ambazonia, stars they touch the courage we know they shame.
They said they could fight. They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they
conspiracy, we go in. Our great boys doing the work for the ground. Wanna fly down.
Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Good evening, the brave people, the courageous people, the peace-loving people of Ambazonia. All man, a place day. I'll be speaking in Pidgin today. my fellow countrymen and women, fellow liberators, fellow patriots and nationalists, on a place over there. I come today for talk for all we and for give una some updates and some things that already happen. So that for any place where you there, for any place where you sit down, you no need for over worry yourselves about how your future will be. You no need for over stress yourself about how the liberation war will come to an end. You no need for over shidon the Hamburg yourself for think about what will happen with La Republic election and what will be the consequences of the colonial election for the occupied territory of Ambazonia. I know say we not get a lot of questions. I know say we not get a lot of concerns. Our goal as leaders now for address those concerns. Our goal as leaders now for answer those questions and for provide one with clarity on ongoing basis. As all wanna know, I get a visit with the leader of our liberation 2 days ago, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. Now, only one thing I should tell the Ambazonian people. The only thing we dey on the table right now, the only discussion we dey take place right now, whether na the diplomats wey dey come out Canada, or na the diplomats wey dey come out the European Union, or na the one that says wey dey come out for the occupying state. Everybody they go na for Oslo. Everybody they fly na to for Oslo. They go for inside the same prison where they keep Dr. Cho. So the prison, it don't become now a diplomatic mission for Ambazonia. Norway, they are prison for Oslo, the place where they keep Dr. Cho. It don't become now Ambazonia diplomatic mission. Whether now the foreign ministry for Canada, they go now for Oslo, they go now right inside that prison. Whether they come out now for the European Union, or they come out now for the United States. Whether they come out now for which country, even the one the way La République du Sénat, even the one the way the United Nations the Sénat, or the African Union the Sénat, all of them, they go for Oslo prison for go meet up the same person. Will La République be think say, if we make up all these stories and we create all this international drama, they take Dr. Cho, they put him for prison, then Ambazonian liberation struggle will come to an end. The prison don't become the Ambazonia diplomatic mission headquarters. Now for them now, the international system, they should don't for talk for Dr. Cho without any distraction. In the past, when they can meet up here, all the other small one them, they go the shake, they go the cry. For the last 22 months, for the last 10 months, who's at the day? When I still hear them, you still call Ambazonia their name. Because the enemy will Cameroon be creating for them. It is for a better place without any distraction. If you do it work now without any distraction. If you do it work now where they not feel intimidated and they not feel insignificant. The only agenda on the table where the leaders make a tell the Ambazonian people, there is only one agenda on the table for all the diplomats and all the discussions where they take place for Oslo, Norway. Now only one agenda they on the diplomatic table. The independence of Ambazonia, now the only agenda on the table. There is no secondary or third agenda on the table. Any person when they come in for can't get a discussion. If they can't get a discussion now on that agenda. And the first thing that we all Ambazonians need for know. Every occupation system they come to an end. And most occupation system they come to an end now because of the arrogance of the occupier. For our case, Mr. Biya arrogance. Dion Gute arrogance. Atanganji arrogance. The CPDM colonial beneficiaries of the occupation, their arrogance. The CPDM elites, their arrogance. Now it lead to the downfall of Cameroon and it lead to the downfall of the occupation system for Ambazonia. Their arrogance. Because if things they say, the system with the engineering since 1954, even before the discussion that take place from 1960 and 1961, they believe that that system with the engineering for France. It don't capture the Ambazonian people and seal the fate of the Ambazonian people through their concept of complete assimilation and dominance. And they believe that the Ambazonian people don't become a permanent captured people. Cameroon is arrogance. The arrogance of the B. The arrogance of the governors. The arrogance of the SDOs. The arrogance of the DOs. All these people believe that they be God. They think that they don't become God. They do what they want them. They do what they please. They do anything at any time to anyone, anyhow they want them. Whether like the colonial SDO for Manu, we shoot a pregnant woman and kill her. Or na the late Patrick Ekema, we should take his own gun. Shoot a student in front of your own house. Their arrogance. Now be the cause of this war. And it be the cause of the pain on the Ambazonian people. Now that same arrogance, it make the bees, they burn down 1,200 villages and kill more than 70,000 Ambazonians. And rape thousands. When they do these things, they don't know the consequences of their actions. As God did do things then. There is always a time when everything will be in a boomerang. Today, now Cameroon they pay the price of their actions. This war will not see and be happen for Ambazonia. The people who they behind this war. Now Mr. Biya, they are the head. But the people there, they be responsible for the pain of the Ambazonian people them. Now the colonial Ambazonia elites, where they benefit from the occupation. The people where they be responsible for the rapes, for the villages where they don't burn them down, for the 70,000 Ambazonians where they don't kill them. The people where they be responsible. Now the people where they benefit from the occupation. Now all the Ambazonia elites, those people who they worship them. Now then they be murderers. Those people who they call them big man, big madam. The colonial ministers, the colonial senators, the colonial parliamentarians, the colonial government delegates, the colonial SDOs, DOs, the colonial mayors. Now the people there, they be responsible for una pain, for the death, for the destruction, for the burning downs of Ambazonia communities. C'est quoi Yoktabe, Tassan Wilfred, Panfon Galanfo, and all Ambazonians where they for la Republic to come around their prisons. The people where they put una for those prisons, and they want make the keep una for those prisons. Now Ambazonian colonial elites where they benefit from the occupation because they don't taste power. They don't taste fame. They don't taste money. They don't taste elitism. They don't become high class people them. They don't come out from nothing and they occupy through these killings. It don't make them into something. And for them for continue for benefit and for maintain their colonial privileges, they make sure they continue with the business of the war. For them for continue for benefit and for continue for maintain their privileges through the Biya system, through the occupation system, then you must continue for be in pain. You must continue for be a displaced person. You must continuously for be killed. Because the more the destruction, the more the war they go on, now the more Biya needs them. The more the war they go on, the more there's killings, the more there is destruction. Now the more they become more relevant to Paul Biya, for continue for maintain this partnership between the elites of Ambazonia, between the sellouts, between the traitors, between the beneficiaries of the occupation and Paul Biya. The war now a money-making adventure. Ma talk am again. Paul Biya a war for Ambazonia now a political money-making adventure for Ambazonia elites. The same thing for Manu. The war na a money-making machine for the Ambazonia elites for Manu. For the colonial mayors them. For the colonial parliamentarians. So when you shit on for the, you need to understand what it go on. War na a political game by the ruling class and the regime for use war as an adventure for seek for more money. They need money for corruption. They need money for bribery. They need money for more ceremonies. They burn the hospital from Manfe, then they will come out again. They go ask for more money. The more money they send out for them, for appease and pacify the population, the more money they get and for embezzling. They need money for corrupt the networks. I get a file and a story where one day I'll make the time can't talk for now. As to what happened for our beloved former mayor of OJ, the mayor of Manfe, how the Kili why the Kili, and how they can't take the one where they don't take and put them inside that place, and why not if you ever show a face for outside. Story go day one day for that one. We'll open that file to the Ambazonian people and to the international community. But that time will come. Make us stay focused for the matter for today. Every occupation system will come. For every crisis and every conflict, there is always a golden opportunity. There is always a blessing. Pilage Biya a war for Ambazonia. No matter how many people they don't kill him, no matter the pain with the Ambazonian people we don't go through, that war don't become like bigger blessings for the Ambazonian people then. Because Mr. Biya a war and the atrocities we don't commit for Ambazonia, it don't lead the international community for come to one single conclusion. They must grant independence now for the Ambazonian people then. The international system don't come to the conclusion. Say whatever mistake that they make them in the past. These two cultures, these two people them, they be so different in their values, in their cultures, in their identity, in their belief system, in their way of life, in their legal system, in their education system, they be so distinctly different. And for trying for force these two systems, now they call it conflict. Conflict, now when you take two opposing belief systems, two opposing value systems, two opposing identities, two opposing cultures, two opposing legal systems, and you try to push them together, that's a conflict. Be a war for Ambazonia. Be a atrocities for Ambazonia. The world don't come for understand now, say they say. We no day we go take this system, they will be opposed to each other. The Ambazonian system is a pure system, a democratic system, a consensus building system, a tolerant system, a peace system, an accountable system, a transparent system, a culture of tolerance, peace, a culture of harmony. And then you get on the other side, you get a tyrannical system. You get a violent system. You get a vicious system. You get a corrupt system. You get a bribery system. You get a kleptocratic system. You get a dictatorship system. And you want to take these two systems, then you bring them together for create, which is the world ever seen. That's why there is this intensity of conflict since 1961. Now the problem that, and now also the benefit that, Biya a war for Ambazonia, it don't lead to the international system. For now, talk say they say the two people then when they come together for 1961, that experiment it never ever work. It never ever work. One side one dominate and subjugate and swallow the other one. So enough you work. Enough you work. Not be a system of consultation. Not be a system where they resolve political differences through dialogue and compromises. Their own violence, their own threats, their own harassment, their own imprisonment, their own intimidation, their own their way or the highway. We don't pay a price for get to this point. With all the bloodshed, with all the suffering, with all the pain, there is a bigger blessing in all of these things. There is a bigger blessing. We don't come out of all of these things. We need to be a little bit patient. We need to be a little bit patient, my people. It come to an end. You don't be deprived of everything. You don't even get a conscience. You don't get even freedom of thought. You don't get freedom of speech. So a person who don't die, it be better than you. For place where you did now as an Ambazonian living in the occupied territory. Sometimes it be like say die even better pass for live for that society. It come to an end, my people. Your sacrifices, they don't yield the intended results. Your sacrifices don't yield the intended results. They are killing of our people. The burning down of schools, of villages. It don't backfire. It don't lead to now the focus on the mechanism for the freedom and independence of Ambazonia. That is now the discussion where they get them everywhere. You need to get faith. You need to get confident. Make we take now. We go for the other side of the world. For see what did happen for Gaza. We don't go on for the last 21 months. And how the Israeli response, it don't turn the world upside down. How as the whole world, they talk about, including the International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court, including all ambassadors then for most part of the world, except the United States. They say the genocide did happen for Gaza and the starvation of the Palestinian people, it be intolerable. The world not fit cover an eye. Now, things they don't turn. The pressure, it don't turn. Last week, 5 days ago, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, he come out, he can't make a declaration for outside. Make we hear what Mr. Macron he talk, which he post, we put on. And that Mr. Macron, he said the time don't come where the French government it go recognize the state of Palestine in the next 2 months when the United Nations it meet for September. Okay? It talks not only a moral obligation, but also a political necessity. We ask European nations for having our collective stance. Macron and the state of France, you know, if you cover their eye anymore for the genocide where they take place for Gaza. Now you don't push them. France now talks for September, when the United Nations General Assembly meet, France will make an official recognition of the state of Palestine. Now the only way that would if we push for a two-state solution for end this conflict, we don't go on for more than 70 years. 5 days later, yesterday, the British government, the UK Prime Minister, Mr. Keir Starmer, 2/3 of the parliamentarians for the Labour Party, for Mr. Starmer party, they don't write a petition for tell Mr. Starmer, say the United Kingdom no go she don't quiet. Why picking they kill picking them for no reason and commit a genocide with the world it watch. The UK government it no go she don't. Make we hear what Mr. Keir Starmer he says he talk am. Make we hear.
The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, announced his country will join France in recognising a Palestinian state at the United Nations in September.
I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire, and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution.
You know, end for day. Norway don't already recognize Palestine. Spain don't recognize Palestine. Ireland don't recognize Palestine. The government of Canada, the foreign minister, what they call him, Minister of Global Affairs, Madam Anita Anand, he too don't talk. Make we hear what Madam Anand he talk for United Nations yesterday.
Moment demands political courage and resolve.
Canada taking the opportunity to announce $30 million for aid to be deployed once Israel opens the way, and another $10 million to help prepare the Palestinian Authority, which runs the occupied West Bank, to work towards statehood.
A workable Palestinian state needs legitimate, democratic governance that serves all Palestinian people.
The world only woke up for prepare the recognition of Palestine because of the excessive atrocities and the mistake in that way the occupiers they make them. What did it happen for Gaza? It don't force the international community for come for a place where they not accept them. And the only way for stop them now for create a state for the Palestinian people then. We go live side by side the state of Israel. That the same thing that happened for Ambazonia. Mr. Biya, he atrocities on the Ambazonian people. The CPDM, the atrocities on the Ambazonian people. There are crimes on the Ambazonian people. There are terrorism on the Ambazonian people. There are scorched earth policy on the Ambazonian people. There are forced displacement of our people then. There are forced creation of refugees for cause international insecurity. It don't call for the same action from the international community. It don't call for the same response by the international community. All the meetings where they take place now about the state of Ambazonia, now about the independence of Ambazonia, the independence and freedom of the Ambazonian people then. Because they don't look up since 1961 the occupier never take the steps for improve the lives of the people then. The only thing with the occupier don't do na continuous documented violence and terrorism on the people then. Continuous destruction of their culture, their institutions, their legal educational systems, their economic systems, their social systems, their cultural systems, and even their identity. Now that they go now for extermination of the people. That's why now Mr. Biya Wolf on the Ambazonian people, he don't lead now the international community for start for push now for the state of Ambazonia, for the freedom of the Ambazonian people then, because the two cultures, the two value system, they be opposed, intensely opposed to each other. Cameroon with Ambazonia, the way we were people today, and the way the other side there, the world don't test them since 1961. The experiment, it don't fail, and the failure of that experiment, it lead now to a genocide and ethnic cleansing for Ambazonian people. The strategy where they put them in place for protect our people them, for prevent our people them, for keep our people them safe, and for push back the occupier. They don't do a lot for advance the course of our liberation and our freedom. It need to come easy. It be very easy for any person for folding hand in the face of genocide, in the face of ethnic cleansing. It be very easy for any person for remain quiet. It be easy, right? If you remain quiet, what's it go happen for you? Because you the things they say, if you open your mouth, they will come after you. The one where they don't kill them, not because they open their mouth. During this period for human race, there is always a special group of people then where the no fish don't quiet. Leaders, the no fish don't quiet. In the face of injustice, in the face of these kind of atrocities, no human being will get the conscience of God. No person will get the existence of God inside you as a creature created by the Creator in His own image. You not see your own brothers and sisters, they be slaughtered, they be killed, they be raped. Their home, they be burned. And you go she don't quiet because you fear somebody called Pobia. Because you fear somebody called Atanganji. Because you fear somebody called a bee. Because even when you be safe for diaspora, you fear for speak. You not get the living God inside of you. God need she don't quiet when injustice be committed. When atrocities be committed on God He own picking them. God the act. Leaders are the act. A man, your goal now for protect. So if you be a man and injustice you occur on your people, you not fit speak, you're not a man. You be a mommy and your own community as mommy will born picking them. They rape them, kill them. You stand there with the watch. You don't lose your conscience as a mother. Wait to make you a human. Wait to make you a person. You don't lose them. Because you don't lose your connection. Now you not feel show compassion or sympathy with the other person. You not feel stand up for protecting. I know they for Ambazonia. but I dey live the pain of the atrocities because I be connected to the people then. Because I be part of we. We need to speak, but because you like them. We need to speak, but because you don't get no other choice. Now the things will make we human. Because they're part of we. The pain our pain. The mommy they kill and our mommy them. The papa they kill and our papa them. The brothers they kill and our brothers. The picking they kill and our picking them. The land our land. So we'll be directly connected and directly involved. We must speak for them. We must stand for them. In the moment of our people, their greatest pain and their greatest difficulty, we will be there for the Ambazonian people. That's why they do this work. We'll continue for speak. We'll continue for advocate. We'll continue for lobby. The Ambazonia Governing Council and all members of the council, all members of the mission will continue for rally the international community, for lobby countries, for lobby states, for lobby the personalities and authorities globally, for stand with the Ambazonian people as we don't do them over the last 9 years. We don't bring the state of Cameroon to its knees, economically, politically, and socially, and morally. They will continue to pay a price. For now, we'll get for stand firm, we'll get for stand strong, we'll get for hold the line, as the leader don't tell we. What time don't come, the time for Ambazonia don't come. Poor be a war for our people then, it don't become the biggest blessing for the Ambazonian people then. When our freedom become, when I hold the line. Every single Ambazonia prisoner, it will be released as part of the negotiation process. Dr. Cho will be released as part of the negotiation process. Sesekwa Yoktabe Julius, Tassan Wilfred, Bamfo, Pen Terence, Mancho BBC, General Benji, everybody will be released as part of the negotiation process. The Cameroon election will go take place. Not be our election. So it not concern we. The Ambazonia Governing Council and all the forces on the ground, they already put out a policy statement on Cameroon, their election. The Cameroon presidential election, it not go change the conflict, and it not go change the direction of the conflict or the nature of the conflict. The only thing with the Cameroon colonial presidential election fit do one, not just a possibility. So the Cameroonese people them, they rise up and kick Paul Biya out and replace Paul Biya with somebody in Cameroon where it will be a partner for peace, a partner for negotiation, a partner for bring this war to an end, a partner where he go recognize say the war it not be the war need to benefit Cameroon, the war now a tool of destruction for the state of Cameroonese themselves. Now the only thing that way this election fit possibly do one for replace Mr. Paul Biya. Now the only thing that the election for Cameroon, the election, it no go end. Even if Cameroon won at the election today, we not forget, La Republic get election for 2018. Now that time the conflict be there at its peak. The conflict not come to an end. Because this war now a political opportunity for Paul Biya. The war now a political opportunity for Mr. Biya after 42 years of failure. The war now a deflection and a diversion from 42 years of absolute failure. So we need for keep the war going. Because if not, the people of Cameroon, they go wholly accountable for bankrupting the state. So we need to understand political games. The war for Gaza now a deflection from the trial when Netanyahu supposed to face him. He's supposed to face a corruption trial. So this war need for keep going because they're not moving for power now because of the war. So we need to understand why leaders they engage in war and why they don't want to end war. But this war, as I don't explain now, is the biggest opportunity for the freedom of the Ambazonian people there. Because Cameroon, their biggest mistake, now our biggest blessing. The election, Cameroon, the election for Ambazonia, it not going to change anything about this war or the freedom or independence or sovereignty of Ambazonia. The only thing where this election will do now for mobilize the international community, because Cameroon never prioritized negotiation and peace for bring the conflict to an end. Paul Biya prioritize, manipulate the Cameroonese people them for prioritize his own political objectives, for keep the beneficiaries in power. No man, no need for worry. The election for Cameroon, it will come, it will go. The freedom of Ambazonia, as that election it come, it go. And so the freedom of Ambazonia too, it come. Mr. Biya, if now Mr. Biya win the election for Cameroon, then the freedom of Ambazonia will come faster. They don't move Maurice Kamto for their ballot box. Because Maurice Kamto, it shows signs for say he won't come from a position of compromise. He won't come from a position where he will make concessions to the Ambazonian people. For beg the Ambazonian people then, say look, if we go, Cameroon will collapse. We beg una, make we go back to the drawing board of 1961. For a two-state federation of two equal people then, where they become together for create a union. But the experiment be failed. The concession that way Mr. Maurice Kamto, they try for make him. And one of the reasons that way, Atanganji Paul and Paul Biya, they don't move Maurice Kamto from the ballot box. Again, I repeat, the election for Cameroon, it not will change anything about the freedom or independence of Ambazonia. No man, no need for worry. Make you listen. Witi Agbabala, he tell the government of Canada. Make you listen. We wait for studio for bring me the video of Agbabala, which Agbabala he tell the government of Canada. Make the studio people then they bring with that video, please.
So that is how positions harden because of the way people were killed, the way people were arrested. That is how positions harden to now we have a separatist move. But the government still had an opportunity to find a solution. It was still easy for them to at least try to address the problem. But at no point in time have they attempted in finding a solution to the crisis. When they released us on the 31st of August, it was a golden opportunity to release all those who were detained. But they choose to release three of myself, Justice Aya, who used to be a sitting Supreme Court justice, was arrested and detained for 7 months without any trial. But they released some of us and left the others in jail. So all this hardened position in such a way that if you talk to the average person in Anglophone Cameroon, separation is now en vogue. You know, now the majority of the people would not settle for anything less than separation. The majority of the people now are asking for a referendum for them to determine their fate. But we still believe that something can still be done. Notwithstanding the situation, we can at least have a dialogue. We can at least have a negotiated settlement. You know, the diaspora living in Canada also would have a role to play, you know, because they are very influential. They have the money, they have a voice, that we can involve them also in trying to see how we can find a holistic solution. So the problem cannot just be solved internally without including the diaspora. I'll give you an example. Cameroon has a way of blacklisting Cameroonians by birth who are out of the country. Yes, some of them might have a dual nationality, but we have Cameroonians who have arrived at the airport with a visa and they were sent back because they encourage descent abroad. We cannot solve the problems in Cameroon without addressing the issue of the diaspora. We need to find a way that we would grant amnesty or clemency to those who are living abroad who have not been convicted but who are in a blacklist by the government, meaning that there are people who have parents in Cameroon, their parents die, they cannot come to Cameroon for fear of being arrested. So if these people cannot come to Cameroon as we know, they would rather prefer to come to Cameroon, which is Ambazonia. So we believe that the government of Canada can do a lot in trying to create an enabling environment, in putting pressure on the government to call for a dialogue, and at best ask the people of Cameroon, ask the government to organize a referendum.
Yes, and thank you very much. Unfortunately.
So, and it comes on for remind what people. No man, no need for shake. Not be carried away by colonial election campaign. Not be carried away. Say the conflict don't come to an end because you see the occupier, it is send people them there with bees and gendarme and army, make they can't campaign. It no go change anything about the demands of the Ambazonian people then. Cameroon, the election for 2018. This same presidential election will take place for 2018. It not bring the conflict to an end. Now only a negotiated settlement it will bring this conflict to an end. And Cameroon know why they fear a negotiated settlement. Because they taste them for Canada. And I be present. I be one of the negotiators. Cameroon know why it fear a negotiated settlement. Because they don't get any case or any argument for Mekam for their claim for the territory of Ambazonia. Cameroon not get any claim. Diongute never ever can tell Wuna how Cameroon he own Ambazonia. Neither has Paul Biya ever made any statement or argument. None of their politicians, if he stand for TV, he make a claim on how Cameroon own Ambazonia. You know if he make that claim. So make Una not be carried away by something that they call as colonial presidential elections. This conflict will come to an end through a negotiated settlement. And we are getting there. The momentum to be built. My conversation with the leader 2 days ago. My visit with the leader 2 days ago. It gives me now a lot of insight. And a lot of things that they were not talking from outside here. Based on the agreement, the way the leader designed them with these prime ministers and foreign ministers. Things that they will not talk about from outside here. Because of non-disclosure agreement. Meeting that they will not release them. Until those things they materialized. Before they become declassified. So make everybody hold the line. You not get any future for Cameroon You never get any future since 1961. Now the same people today for the same position of governance. Their only hope for you, the bullet. Now Mr. Biya still govern Cameroon. I remind you, the people of Yaoundé, they be surrounded by garbage, cockroaches, flies, rats, dirty, smelling shit everywhere. They never fit for clean Yaoundé. The people for Yaoundé, your own brothers and sisters. The people for Eboloa, your own brothers and sisters. Water for drink no day, light no day, road no day. Now you do can't develop you. Your only hope. Now what you do will bring you freedom. For take all these sacrifices and we don't make them. For encapsulate them into an international policy. When I don't watch, read the articles them way Dr. Michael Rubin, who will be interviewed here a couple of months ago, how he blast La République and France for their hypocrisy and exposed the workway the Cameroon occupation government and its intelligence and its military intelligence services for the transnational aggression where they follow Ambazonians there for full other governments may they harass and intimidate Ambazonia for outside here. Dr. Michael Rubin, they write a lot of those things. Now the end of the state, when you see a state don't start to do those things, now because the end times don't come. When you see Cameroon not be so desperate, a whole president of a country, he call election, no man no see his face. A whole president of a country, he talks say he go run for a presidential election, no man never see his face, and you take that country serious? Paul Biya called for presidential election through a presidential decree on paper. How you manage know whether Paul Biya signed that paper? Why you not can sign the paper for in front of all man? Why not make a speech for call the elections? He talks say he want run as a candidate. Why not can stand for in front for project his own candidacy just like every other living person? The do one. And when I want to take that country serious, and you want to bet your future on that kind of a country, we'll leave it for you for today. Shake no day. We'll continue to stand strong. We'll continue to be firm. Now only one question a day on the table of discussion: the independence of Ambazonia. All man a place there. AC and time kuna plenty for this time when I don't give you more talk for our people then this evening. All man a place there.
Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong.
Stand like valiant soldiers to lay our lives to ensure that their blood was spilled in vain.
Ambazonia will
The
shine.
mothers who scream for their daughters, the fathers who are on the shore where their kids are detained, wouldn't mourn in vain.
Will be sent. Shake, shake no day till the very end. The cruise boys sing.
I told you before. When the time comes, they will come to us.
Where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter like ashes for night where they cold. Oh, break scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people hand innocent they suffer. Oh mama Ambazonia, your heart they pay. Tears they fall
I remind
like
you,
a river, like sister.
I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so don't forget.
Dr. Cho, Sissiko and others, them train them but them no feedback. Them voice now like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the town face go
Because I know
they
are trying to take me down.
They suffer.
But even if I'm not around, don't forget.
Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them pride go they echo. For this talk where they all know. Inside the shadows,
You don't owe them child
small
support.
fire they grow. Freedom they
Don't forget the crimes they committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle.
Ambazonia go stand gidigba. You no go fear night. Oh, mama Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like the river, like sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For this hug go they hollow. Mama Ambazonia, scars they touch the of courage we know they share.
They said they could fight. They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they
conspiracy we go in. I'll break boys to the world for the ground. Wanna fly down.
Welcome to ACN.
Fellow Ambazonians, good morning. Today is the 14th of August 2025. Fellow Ambazonians, let me your ears. I am here to rebuke our traditional rulers who have misused our tradition for political purposes. Fellow Ambazonians, every tribe, every ethnic group has its own tradition, but we all have a universal sign that shows that a paramount chief is arriving at a particular place. If our paramount chiefs should dare now misuse all those traditional rights for political purposes, then it is a curse. It is a shame. It is a disgrace to whatever race, to whatever culture, to whatever tradition, or to whatever people such a person is represented. Fellow Ambazonians, in our African tradition, we know that if a paramount chief is about to arrive at a particular place, the first sign that shows is the sound of the gong. If you hear the sound of the gong, you know that a paramount chief is arriving. Then, if the paramount chiefs should now decide to put the gong inside a bag and arrive at a place and take the gong out and play it by themselves, then what a shame, what a mockery, what a violation of our tradition. I was so amazed, dumbfounded, confused to see that a traditional ruler picks a traditional gong and plays it to somebody who is not even a traditional ruler. However, remember that what you plant is what you are going to sow. What you sow is what you are going to harvest. Our traditional rulers have become so selfish that they tend to ignore our tradition. Before going into that unity palace, was there even one in Chinda behind them who was to dress their seat for them to sit down? How then do you yourself turn to play a gong to somebody who is not even a traditional ruler? However, those gongs are made from where I come from. They speak, they react, and they follow whatever way that you want to use them. When you use the wrong instrument in playing that gong, you have the wrong results. That's the more reason you couldn't even hear the sound of that gong. In Bangwa, where that thing was originated, where it came from, we say, Lichere, Egunwe. Maybe translating this to English, say that it muted. The sound didn't come out because it was used in a wrong occasion. I am therefore appealing to our paramount chiefs. What about the blood of our little martyr? What about the blood of Field Marshal the King? What about the blood of Isubu? What about those other children who have missing that we don't even know them? What about our villages which have been burned to ashes? Were you not the very ones that gave this government the land? Did this government not only arrive 1961 and 60? Before the government arrives here, were you not there? How do you now become beggars? Remember, what you are planting is what you are going to harvest tomorrow. When did our paramount chiefs, when did your father ever go to Yaoundé? If he went to Yaoundé, how did he come back? In the days of Foncha and Muna, that we had our own selves, which of our parents ever went to Yaoundé? Did Ahijo not visit the font of Nso in his palace? Did Ahijo not stop to listen when the font of Fontaine was coming in at Chang, when the University of Chang was being opened? What happened today that the palace now goes to Yaoundé? Does the palace move? The palace doesn't move. And if you've decided that the palace would move, it would all take a turn on all the children of our land, the children of our children, and it would be a curse to our society. Please, make haste when the sun shines. Correct all the mistakes that you people are doing. This is not fair. No land has been cleansed in the northwest and the southwest with the blood of our people that have spilled on the same streets that you all travel. It will come back to haunt us. May God save us. Ndiasa Efontem from Baby Island.
So that is how positions harden because of the way people were killed, the way people were arrested. That is how positions harden to now we have a separatist move. But the government still had an opportunity to find a solution. It was still easy for them to at least try to address the problem. But at no point in time have they attempted in finding a solution to the crisis. When they released us on the 31st of August, it was a golden opportunity to release all those who were detained. But they choose to release three of myself, Justice Aya, who used to be a sitting Supreme Court justice, was arrested and detained for 7 months without any trial. But they released some of us and left the others in jail. So all this hardened position in such a way that if you talk to the average person in Anglophone Cameroon, separation it's now en vogue. You know, now the majority of the people would not settle for anything less than separation. The majority of the people now are asking for a referendum for them to determine their fate. But we still believe that something can still be done. Notwithstanding the situation, we can at least have a dialogue. We can at least have a negotiated settlement. You know, the diaspora living in Canada also would have a role to play, you know, because they are very influential. They have the money, they have a voice, that we can involve them also in trying to see how we can find a holistic solution. So the problem cannot just be solved internally without including the diaspora. I'll give you an example. Cameroon has a way of blacklisting Cameroonians by birth who are out of the country. Yes, some of them might have a dual nationality, but we have Cameroonians who have arrived at the airport with a visa and they were sent back because they encourage descent abroad. We cannot solve the problems in Cameroon without addressing the issue of the diaspora. We need to find a way that we would grant amnesty or clemency to those who are living abroad who have not been convicted but who are in a blacklist by the government, meaning that there are people who have parents in Cameroon, their parents die, they cannot come to Cameroon for fear of being arrested. So if these people cannot come to Cameroon as we know, they would rather prefer to come to Cameroon, which is Ambazonia. So we believe that the government of Canada can do a lot in trying to create an enabling environment, in putting pressure on the government to call for a dialogue, and at best ask the people of Cameroon, ask the government to organize a referendum.
Yes, and thank you very much. Unfortunately,
that you call yours, people can do what has been done to our children in West Cameroon. I call it West Cameroon because you will never take it out of our mouths again, because that is a territory in which we believe in freedom. To go out on the street and demonstrate is a basic right for us. And that is why we are saying that there are two Cameroons that came together. If you are telling us, like a state minister stood here last year and told us that what happened in Cameroon is like dropping a few cubes of sugar into a basin of water. Who is the sugar and who is the water? I'm asking the government bench of Cameroon. Who is? That you rape our children. My brother's daughter has been raped in Boya. I swear to you, the government of this country, does the president of this country know that the governors and the DOs and all the administrators who are sent to West Cameroon are out there behaving exactly like an army of occupation? Our people have nowhere to go. We have made all the efforts. Our ancestors and our forefathers trusted you to go into a gentleman's agreement that two people who considered themselves brothers could go to live together. If this is what you show us after 55 years, then those who are saying that we should break Cameroon are right. They are correct. The people of West Cameroon cannot be your slaves. The people of West Cameroon are not, you did not conquer them in war. If this is what you are saying that we should live in, I say simply no, it will not work. How do you have an army that's supposed to protect children, step out there, beat them, and rape some? It is not heard of in any country. This is the 21st century, and anybody who does that, I cannot be willing for his government to pay the price. We will exact it on you, because you are making us believe that we went to the wrong place.
Joshua Osei, Cameroonian politician, faces a challenging situation as he campaigns for president. His decision to join the CPDM and sign a petition calling for the deportation of Cameroonian citizens from the U.S. in 2021 has sparked controversy, particularly among Anglophones in the Northwest and Southwest regions. Many of these individuals have relatives living in the U.S. under Temporary Protected Status, TPS, which is set to expire this August 2025. Osei's role in the petition has led to criticism and potential backlash from the very people he is trying to convince them to vote for him. Many questions are now begging for answers. How will Osei handle his decision to write to the American Congress not to protect his compatriots fleeing from a devastating conflict in the Northwest and Southwest regions? How will Honorable Osei, a representative of the people, convince those in the Northwest and Southwest regions to vote for him when he endorsed the petition to have their relatives deported from the U.S.? Same year, in an interview he granted Jeune Afrique, he boasted that if given the opportunity, he will still sign another petition to the U.S. Congress. Some Anglophone Cameroonians have been saying that the signature of the SDF MP on a document approved by those of the CPDM was betraying the people of the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. In fact, Osei will not have an uphill task reconciling with those whose relatives will be deported due to his actions. His campaign's message of unity and change may resonate only if he can effectively address the concerns of those affected by the deportation and demonstrate a commitment to resolving the Anglophone crisis.
Ambazonia's story is one of betrayal, resilience, and an unbroken quest for freedom. Once a German colony, the territory fiercely resisted colonial domination, setting the tone for what would become a century-long fight against foreign control. After Germany's defeat in World War I, Ambazonia, then known as British Southern Cameroons, was entrusted to Britain by the League of Nations, and later the United Nations, as a trust territory with a sacred obligation: prepare the people for full independence. By the 1950s, Ambazonia had already made African history, becoming the first territory on the continent to experience a peaceful transfer of democratic power. But in a cruel twist of diplomacy, instead of being granted independence like other trust territories, the UN gave Ambazonians only two options in a 1961 plebiscite: to gain independence by joining either Nigeria or French Cameroon. But how do you gain independence? By joining another country. The people voted on February 11th, 1961, to join Cameroon, but that vote was merely an expression of intent, not a legally binding act. Under Article 101 of the UN Charter, any international agreement must be properly registered or it is null and void. No treaty was ever signed, no terms were ever ratified. Like two lovers discussing marriage without ever marrying, no legal union was ever consummated. The same year, 64 UN member states voted for Ambazonia's independence. Ironically, Cameroon voted against it. Yet in October 1961, without invitation or legality, Cameroon's army marched into Ambazonia, a blatant act of military occupation that continues to this day. In 1972, a sham referendum dissolved the supposed federation and unilaterally transformed the structure of the Union, violating both international law and the people's will. By the early 1990s, Ambazonians began organizing pro-independence movements, demanding the restoration of their stolen sovereignty. But it was in 2016 that history took a new turn. As peaceful protests were met with bullets, Dr. Cho Ayaba, through the Ambazonia Governing Council, AGOV-C, emerged with a strategic doctrine: self-defense, targeted diplomacy, and internationalization. While other movements have faded, AGOV-C has remained the torch-bearer of Ambazonian resistance.
243 years ago, the Americans told the British that their time of independence was now. They fought for 8 years, 4 months, and 15 days. They lost the Battle of Boston, but they won the war for the freedom of the United States.
Yes, so
your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch.